Okay, hands up. Reach down. 1, 2, 3. To your right, 2, 3. To your left, 2, 3. Center. Inhale. Exhale. Hands on your waist. Turn. So Lucian, check the mixer. Because 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Center. Cross. Hold your knees. Circular movements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Switch. Other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Center. Hands on your waist. Okay, neck turning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Center. Tilt to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Center. Rotating down. 1, 2, 3. Reverse. 1, 2, 3. Center. Hands up. Fold in. Elbows out. And down. Hands out. Fold in. Inhale. And down. Again, hands out. Inhale. And down. Okay, spread your feet. Turn your shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Are they getting any audio, Lucian? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and stop. Okay, turn to the right. Let's stretch it out. 2 and 3. Switch. 1, 2, 3. Switch. 1, 2, 3. Switch. 1, 2, 3. Switch. 1, 2, and stop. Okay, let's switch again. Let's straighten out the front leg. Switch. 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 Okay, center, shake it out. Hands up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, so we had a little technical difficulties this morning. The audio wasn't working. We don't know why it went off for some reason. As you know, we got a little bit of snow last night, so that's strange in itself. So we just don't know. Some of this technological stuff just, just can't give it, any explanation. But I think it's back now. So hopefully, we can move on. Okay, let's spread the feet. Did we do this already? Turn. 1, yeah, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, we did that already. So let's get our hands here. So, circular movements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is it clear? 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and stop. Okay, go backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and stop. Okay, now palms down and relax. Let it swing. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. 1, 2. Keep going. Breathe through your nose. Inhale and exhale through your nose. Tongue touching your roof of your mouth. And stop. Hands up. Pull in. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, wrists. Reverse. center. Okay, palms down, bigger circle. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1. No, 2, 3. 1, 2, and stop. Okay, shake it out. Have a couple of deep breaths. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And then let's do it one more time. Inhale, exhale. Okay, we've been working, kind of shifting the weight from side to side, trying to find that support position, your substantial leg. That's how you would find your center to balance. Okay. So there's no mystery to how to improve your balance. You want to improve the balance, you have to practice balancing. And because Tai Chi works actually with a lot of this type of concept, you develop not just the strength and flexibility, but you also build coordination and controlling your center of mass. Okay, let's go with the lifting of the leg. So we're standing on one leg. Okay, switch and switch. Switch and switch. Okay, let's shake that out. Okay, I'm going to turn toward the mirrors. You're working from behind so you can see my arms going. I'm going to take a step forward and a step again and a step again. So you see how the hands move in relation to the legs. Okay, so once we get into that position, let's let this one go, and we're going to do the back and forth movement. Now, movements have different functionality and different purposes. So in this case, we're really working the relationship between how the legs would be working. Let's step back a little. So we'd take a step and a step and a step. Now we're going to kick it in. So that's just formatting that relationship and the coordination. So this is what our body should be doing when we're walking. But we have to actually build some body mechanics and recognition as to how our body is building this synchronization. Okay. Now we're going to go from side to side. That goes like this. Now we find the center, and we're going to swing across. And center. Okay, let's go to the other side. Swing. And center. Okay, shake it out. Hands up. Pull in deep breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay. Hold the ball. Okay, I'm going to step to the side a little bit so we can center in this mirror. So we're going to do the forward back. This is silk reeling. And what is silk reeling? It's a continuity exercise. We're building integration of body or coordination. But coordination should be the integration of the complete body. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Here's starting position. Separate the hands in a forward position and go back. 1, 2, 3, 4, and here's the starting position. Then this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we get back to here. And combine the movements. It ends up as if it's one seamless movement going from the front to the back and then back again. Okay, let's go to the other side. Hold the ball, which is this, with the palms facing up and down. Okay, so we start off here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we turn and we draw. Okay, that completes that. Okay, now we're going to bring the hands down and cross like this. Bring the right foot forward, open and close. Okay. So the hands expand to the side, and I mentioned the palms face each other, or actually they're facing the same side, sorry. They face each other here. 1, and then this is facing each other, but they cross. Okay, the other side is the same. We're going to work this side a few times. I think we started a few minutes late, so I'm just going to do a few less than I normally would do. So this is open and close, cross, and open. Okay, next. Circular movements. This is the opening movement in the form. It's called preparation. So synchronization of the body means your upper appendages and the lower appendages are working together, and obviously it's tied through the torso, and so your torso has to be somewhat involved with the movement. The degree of movement in the torso will vary based on time and really the ability to control your torso. That does take some understanding over time, but everything that we're doing is tied to motor skills. So if certain parts of your body haven't been moving for a while, or you don't move it in this specific way, it's a learned process. So you have to go through the motions, and eventually you'll discover what I'm referring to. Okay, now once we're down here, we're going to find the lower hoop position. It's called stillness, standing meditation, pile training. Just means standing with a certain amount of stillness. So it's very still compared to what we were just doing. So this lower hoop, shoulder height hoop, and this is really the horizontal hoop position. Horizontal hoop is elbows pointing to the side. Okay. Clear your thoughts, breathe through your nose, tongue touches the roof of your mouth. Okay, next we're going to sink the elbows, hold the ball like this. Okay, so this is an open palm. You like this. See, it's rounded, and you create this shape. Now we're going to lower the hands, turn the palms so they're pressing down as you lift your spine as if being pulled up from above, chin tucked in slightly, tension release from the nape of the neck. So the nape of the neck is just behind your throat. Okay, lift, straighten the knees, and don't lock them. Just feel like you're extending. Elbows are extended but not locked. Okay, now turn the palms toward the thigh and stretch, lift up. Okay, next we're going to bring the hands out in front, turn the palms up, deep breathing, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Okay, so those basically are the warm-ups that we typically do, and then we move into some of the posturing, and we're going to work with the diagonal flying first, and then we're going to go through it with the cloud hand motion. So here we start off, step out, and we do a few of these. One, this is diagonal flying. Okay, just recall the name of the movement by how the hands are moving up on the diagonal or slanting upward. Switch. We can just do about 2 or 3 of these, or 3 or 4 of these, sorry. That's, what's this called? Diagonal flying. Which side is this one? It's your left side because of the left leg leading. So your left side, the opposite was the right side. Okay, let's get back to center. We're going to turn like this. So that's your cloud hands. It's the same 2 circles here, but we add the timing, the hands that are opposite. Well, so when one goes up, the other one goes down. Then we're going to add the turning to the corner. So every time I add something, it's changing the dimension of the movement. It changes which way you're facing or which way you're headed. Okay. Now, as you start to track your movements, you have to realize that when movements are driven, they're actually directional. Okay. Now, been doing this. We shift the weight so you have your hands working in the same direction, meaning compatible to your movement, compatible with direction. Okay, now once I switch my foot to this position, I find that I have one on each side. So now we're tying together a transition where we move from one side to the other. We keep our feet parallel, but turn from the spine. Now we're going to go twice in this direction. Now we're going to go this way. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and 2. Okay, shake it out. Deep breathing. Inhale. So you can see we're building coordination, upper body, right, left, lower body, right, left, integration of hands and legs. So you're building gradually a lot of these ideas that we've been talking about, shifting of weight, moving, finding your center of mass, integration of body. That relationship isn't understood, to the general public, because you have to be doing something like this to draw a correlation to what I'm talking about. So in the beginning, a lot of this doesn't make sense, but once you start to experience this, then that's part of that learning curve. Once you begin to understand this concept, then you begin to understand how the body form comes into play, how geometry, structural integrity of position, all of this starts to come into play. And the only way to define these things is the terms I use, and also the conceptual idea of geometry using shapes, circles, squares, and triangles. And then directions. Directions are really still measured in angular positions. So, while we're practicing these movements, we have to take in all that information and then allow the body to digest it over time, and eventually your body will move very efficiently and it starts to begin to understand. So overall, you'll be developing body intelligence, and body intelligence is heightened sensitivity, heightened awareness of space, heightened awareness of direction, and heightened integration of this relationship in the body that you build all through this process. Okay, next, after doing the cloud hands, we're going to do the carry tiger to the mountain. Okay, so remember the circular position is this. So there's your circle, and we have 3 different hoop positions. Essentially, there's many, many hoops here, but we define the high one, okay, and then we cross down and we do the low one. And in between we have the 2 that's here, depending on which circle you're tying. So there's really 3 areas, but breaking it down more finely, it could be considered 4. Okay, here's your sternum, here's your shoulder height, and here's your eye level. Cross the arms in front of the sternum and down. Okay, this is carry tiger to the mountain, carry tiger to went up, and carry tiger to the mountain, going back to square one. Starting position to center, infinity sign. And center. Okay, form the fist and punch. Form the fist and punch. Okay, here's your punch. We palm up, roll the fingers, form the fist, draw back, and punch. Okay, let's do a couple of more. This, in combination with the infinity sign, becomes divert, block, and punch. Okay, great. Thanks. Go to the center, palms like this, fold the elbows in front of the nose. Okay, strum the lute. There's your triangle. And separate. Here's your thumb up position, elbow out. This is your right side, horizontal elbow, and you alternate the shoulders, building that same relationship we're talking about with the right and left work together, defining a direction of movement, defining the vertical and horizontal elbows. Let's go to center. Flip to the other side. Thumbs up gives you the horizontal position. And from here, we're going to drop the elbow and pause. Bring the fingertips out to the front. Draw the bow. Turn, draw the bow. Turn, draw the bow. Okay? What you're doing essentially is realigning a plane of motion. So we're looking at a horizontal shoulder position and the aligning of the elbow and fingertips to give you an alignment that allows you to stretch. Actually, most of our movements should be working, especially ones that separate, in a common plane of movement. So that keeps you more in line. Okay, next we're going to step out, adjust the feet so you're in this thing called the horse stance. Okay, so this is your leg position. We cross the hands, depending on which hand is on the outside, we're making a circle. Okay, right on top, left on top, lift the elbows and turn to the left. Right on top, lift the elbows and turn to the side. That's your right side. Here's your left side. Here's your right side. Here's your left side. Okay, we do it a couple of times. 1, 2, and then we're going to move right up into the shoulder width stance and start to raise the hand. 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 Lift up. Increase the range of motion. Relax all the joints so that you can move. Okay, shake it out. Okay, deep breathing. Hands up. So if you've been following the videos, is following the streaming, you will see the exercises are done consistently, not exactly always in the same order, but pretty close. But we do the same exercises, over and over again. And the reason why we have so many exercises is because we're dealing with space, we're dealing with lots of, skeletal positions, and we're trying to work the whole body instead of limiting it to, the capacity of one-sided movement or isolated movement. So when we build that integration, that's really building, motor skill. It's also building, patterns that are in here as files. Your brain is like a computer storing these things in a file, and then you have to draw off of those. But the idea of drawing off it really has to do with the mind's intent of what you think it wants it to do. So how the mind and the body work it's a very unique relationship that's tied closely together. I mean, everything has to go through some system in your body, whether it's your sensory system, and you have quite a few of those, and then how your skeleton and the structure works together. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So some of the movements that we're doing that I faced the mirror, it was mainly so that you could stay on the same side, because understanding that some people have a little trouble with mirror image, and some people have a little trouble following, so just trying to address it to new people and anyone else. But that's a good response, that I know that if I'm doing this, that you're going to be doing mirror image and you can see the hands, all right? So, just to recap this one, we go to the high position and we cross and down. When we do this one, it's out, in, and out. So that's an infinity sign. And then when we form the fist, it's doing this. I think the other ones where the movements are a little bit bigger to the sides, it's a little bit easier to follow because you're looking as big movements. So I can understand why maybe in the frontal position you can't see it as well. So next time I do the class, which will probably be Tuesday, I'll be aware of that and I'll do it towards you so that you have a better view. Okay, so on that note, we usually do the pieces of the form. We ran a little behind with the audio, so let's just do this. And this is mirror image, so I'm going to do it this way. If this is going to be helpful, hands on the waist, we do this, okay? So this is opening your stance. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. So feet are 45 degrees in the corner, and when you put your heel down, it's flat. When you put it out like this, it's up. You pivot on the ball of the foot, and you pivot on the ball of the foot. Now you have 45 hands. Drop it. That could be like a single whip position. In this position, your feet would be both in that 45. Okay. Now you see when we're here, if I turn my heel out and I sit back, I'm in my Tai Chi stance, empty stance. So this foot has less weight. When we go forward, the front leg has more weight. So between this and this is that exchange. And if I turn back to front, I'm going to turn this way. So this is something that you can practice as someone that's new to get familiar with the leg work. So this is alternating legs, forward and back. So when we alternate, it could have a hand movement. It could have a hand movement. It could have a series of hand movements. But the leg work essentially will do the same thing. So that is grasp the sparrow's tail. It's made up of 4 movements. You have a vertical and a horizontal. And you know, this is the front leg, the right side, my right, your left, same side, and you go forward and press. And you roll back, you turn the inside hand up, and you push forward and you hook. Now I turn back to front, and here we are. If I open my hand just so it's this wide, that would be the hand positions for the single whip. But actually in the form, when I sit back, instead of turning fully, I turn only 45 degrees. So that leaves my hand in that corner. And then when I open the stance and sustain this position, I open this foot, and when I bring it across the center and then pass through the other corner, there's your single whip. Okay? So you can see how the movements are measured based on the ideas of the 45-degree lines and corners. So here, this grasp of sparrow's tail on your right side, and actually the right side happens first in the form. And I pull back, and I turn back to the front. So we have this position. If I open it to here, it's square, but it's actually too narrow for a single whip. You should be only going 45 degrees, and this is going to be your right side single whip. Okay, so your hand should be hooked on this side, which is your right. Okay, now if the palm went in and went down like this, so your palm side goes in, hook side goes, you have a position like this. And if we cross the wrist and lean, we have diagonal flying. Okay, so you can see from single whip, depending on which side it is, you have diagonal flying. Okay, shake it out. So as you progress, what you'll realize is to hold the ball position, which is this, different ways of getting into it, but to hold the ball position will take you into diagonal flying, part the horse's mane, and many of the other varying positions that would stem off of this. Some styles work a lot more with the hold the ball position, simply because there's setting up for part the horse's mane or diagonal flying. Okay, now when we start off the form and we do the preparation, and I'm doing this from the back side, so you may have a little trouble seeing the hands, but the thing is this, it's a lot easier to follow if it's a sequence, okay? So when we're here and we sit back and turn the corner, you should be following from behind and working the same side that I'm moving so that you begin to follow the movements. And then you hook, and we turn to 45, and here we are opening into the single whip. Okay, so what we just went through is a series of movements, but for someone that's new, learning the sequence and putting all that together is going to be a pretty big challenge first few times around, because you don't know the postures and you don't know where you're going in the form. So one of the things that I do is actually work what I call the linear form or the frontal form. So when we start like this, so you're copying from behind. So when I adjust my feet, I go like this, and I start with my left, and I go forward and press. When I toe out and step up, I'm going to drop my elbow and bring both hands around till I'm here. So now I have a right side vertical, the right toe is up, and I thumb up on the right side and I press together. Okay? Now that's really the two left and right positions in the starting of the form. Then when I go like this, I draw back to the center and push forward, hook my wrist, and I'm back to this. So that was grasp the sparrow's tail, which is really 4 movements. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So listen closely now. This is vertical to horizontal, left hand on the inside, palms down. Draw towards your center, turn the inside hand up, which is your left, and push forward, and you're connected at the small of the wrist here, right where that little dimple is, say, where your index finger and the thumb here merge. There's a little joint here. That's where you connect, and you would push. Hook your wrist, and you sit back. Now, if we went to that corner that we were talking about and open the stance, you would see this is the single whip position. Okay, so the single whip position is this. We just went over that from the front side. The palm side goes in. This side goes across and level. Okay, good. So, going through the exercise, I can face you and do them, and they're done in tandem, and it's very easy to follow. Once we start doing form sequences, we start to move, and the mapping of the form will take us in a direction. So the best way to follow that is from the back side, or maybe from the side this way or this way, so that you can reference it. But key thing is learn the postures, identify those, and then build the sequence gradually while you begin to insert some of these postures as they appear inside the form, which was part of a strategy to learn the form. For most people in the beginning, it's very difficult to learn because there's so much going on. So you have to build your coordination, you have to identify the posture, then you have to memorize the sequence. So, all of that is, a process that you have to go through, but at the same time, it's this process that actually is so beneficial, because you're building coordination, you're building body understanding, body mechanics, and then at the same time, you're building motor skill and programming it up here and learning, building the sort of the network, the neurons, the dendrites, whatever the connections are, the wiring to the muscles, so that you trigger these muscles to do what it's supposed to do. That's part of your proprioceptive system, and that's actually going to control everything that we're doing, which is really the whole idea of the Tai Chi paradigm. It's really sort of a modern approach to an antiquated way. So you follow these guidelines, for sure you will be successful by doing it regularly, meaning several times a week. We do this 3 days a week, and all the videos are archived. So if you're following, you can go to YouTube, and it's CCMAA or calvinchin.com. Look for the streaming, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and share it with your friends, anyone that you think was interested in Tai Chi. I think it's an approach that it's accessible to anybody that wants to learn from scratch. And if you already have some experience, some of this information will probably support whatever you're doing. And I think we've got a few minutes, so what I'm going to do is we should run through the whole form, and then we'll move on to the 108, and we'll have some words after that. Okay, ready? Preparation. Now, for new people, you can either watch it or just do the best you can. So these are brush knee, and there's 4 of them. And this would be the last of the 4 on the right side. So in different classes, I work on the different postures, so you won't have to just do this in the sequence. This is strum the lute and close the door. Form the fist and punch. Divert, block, and punch. Cross the arms. Here's your cross arm position. Parallel square position. Leopard and tiger springs to mountain. Back to neutral. Okay. Now we're going to turn. Drop it down. Stroke out. Here's your fist under elbow. And repulse the monkey done 3 times. Repulse the monkey is really sometimes called retreat and repulse the monkey. So retreat is backing off and retreating, going away. And here we are on the left side again. That's your 3rd repulse the monkey. And then we go to right side vertical, hold the ball. Here's that common position, hold the ball, and diagonal flying. Sit back, another common position, elbow down. That's the neutral position or strum the lute position. Insert the needle, fan through the back. We did that during the warm-ups, and you see that posture position. Stroke down, parry and punch. Form the fist, step through, infinity sign, and punch. Cross the arms, leopard and tiger springs to mountain. Bring the hands down. This is carry tiger to the mountain. Cross the hands or cross the forearms. Raise the left hand, bend from the waist. Go toward the lower hand. This is counterclockwise rotation to the left side. Go to vertical elbow. Grasp the sparrow's tail left side. We just went over that earlier. On the right side, hook your wrist, and here's that single whip again. Palm side in, across, and level. Flip it over to reverse the ball. That's a reversing of the hold the ball position, neutral position. Hold the ball again. Here's the path the horse's mane. Remember, holding the ball is a starting position for part the horse's mane. Sit back, cross over, Jade Lady work shuttle. And then we're going to go to the rear corner, opposite corner, right side, Jade Lady work shuttle. And we hook our wrist and turn back to the front, and we open the form. Okay, now we drop the hands. So we do cloud hands. This time we pivot the feet. We did cloud hands footwork before with a parallel leg position, shifting and stepping. This is a little more complicated. takes a little more control and coordination, but all in all, it's essentially the same. Flip the hands and diagonal flying. And in closing, we set up this position, find your center, move backwards, sit backwards, bring this right foot to the side, and kind of place it where you think it should be, and you look to see if you're in a shoulder width stance, elbows down, and press, and release. Hands up. Okay, so that's the Tai Chi Paradigm form. It is a sequence that is probably the goal that you have to learn that, and that's what you would practice as a sequence, and that's what a Tai Chi form is. And one of the things that I talk about by doing these exercises, I talk about prevention of age-related degeneration, prevention of age-related cognitive decline. All of these things happen at a certain age. It usually happens, I think, probably in the mid-40s and beyond. It doesn't just happen, when you reach your 60s and it starts to decline. It starts to decline a little earlier than that. And I think people that do Tai Chi or need this type of an exercise should start a little bit earlier. It's one of the things that, even though I preach it, not everybody listens, and that's one of the things that has been such a struggle with people that teach these arts. But I know from a fact that there is a tremendous benefit to help prevent age-related degeneration, and it's something that I talk a lot about. And I teach at the senior centers, I teach at different locations, and we have seniors as well here at the school. But today, as the way, with the closings and, with the pandemic, our school has been closed for 60 days now. And the opening is, I guess, May 18th as a scheduling of certain business opening. So we don't know what's going to happen at that time, because this is a time of uncertainty, and the time of uncertainty really applies to us. And it's uncertainty includes when will my students come back to the school is something that I'm not positive of because of the social distancing and the mask and so forth. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge trying to run this. While everybody looks at the restaurants and all the other businesses, we as teachers and people that have gyms and so forth are going to face those same type of challenges. So with that said, the streaming that we've started has become something that's I wanted to do, because I didn't want the students that are here and the people that follow to have a disconnect. So we've been doing this 4 days a week. We've attracted a pretty good audience at this point. The teaching is like running a class. We do it live. If it's something that's beneficial to you, and that's something that we begin to understand, that moving forward from here, we'll do our brick and mortar classes as we usually do. But the streaming, that is something that we've started to do more regularly, and have found out that there is a huge audience for that if we can tap into it. So the idea is to, spread the benefits of this. And, moving, just, taking up a little time of the 108 movement form. Today is actually my birthday, and today I turned 70 years old. So turning 70 is, in some cases, sort of a landmark. But the thing is, turning 70 to me is just a number. And number, because we have both a chronological number and a biological number. So the biological number, I don't feel like I'm 70, and a lot of people that have studied with me would realize, well, he's turning 70, but, he doesn't seem to be like a typical 70-year-old. So it's kind of an anomaly. But the thing is it strange for me to be at this age and not be declining like the average 70 because it's genetics? To me, I don't think so. I think it really has to do with what I do. I've been doing this for probably in excess of close to 60 years. So over those years, my goal is to find out more about it. And over the 60 years, I've discovered and learned so much about the benefits of martial arts. And reaching this age, this ripe age of 70, I would say that, um, when you second guess why you spent your whole life doing this, a lot of times those answers are not really clear. But to me, it's pretty clear that, going, thinking back and going forward, I would say that um, my ideas of the benefits has actually increased more and more, and I realize from my teaching that everybody needs this, you know, from the middle age, which is what has probably changed a bit. If you're in your 40s or 50s, I think this is something that you would really benefit from, because prevention of age-related degeneration it's really tied to, what they call the chronological age and the biological age, tied to your telomeres and so forth, and how can you control some of that? Well, every expert in the field, regardless of what they're physicians or doctors, they would say you need exercise. So what kind of exercise do you need to help prevent that? Well, the type of exercise that we're doing right here is what we need to do, because it controls not only the neurological side of the brain and control your body, it also is something that it's very beneficial as you age. And when falling it happens when you turn 60, which is when maybe when they start to monitor it. um, you can prevent some of that, or prevent all of it if you could do something like this, because you're learning to relax your body. So one of the key things in developing good movement is to relax the joints. Stress, all the things that we talk about as we age, is all tied to how our body reacts to conditions. So if the conditions are stressful, if you can't clear your mind, you can't move your body, you're going to be stiff, you're going to be rigid. I joke about this, but rigor mortis will set in, on its own. You don't need to start being stiff if you don't have to. So what we should do is understand that this is why Tai Chi is beneficial, why the Tai Chi Paradigm is a great training tool, a training exercise for anybody and everybody, regardless of what age. But if you don't think you have time before you're 50 years old or 45 years old, then wait. But actually, if you wait, you actually will not get the same benefit. So because I do this, and it's been something that I believe in, um, I share this because my experience and the knowledge that I've gained over these 70 years is really about this. And for me, a celebration isn't as important as um, getting students to recognize that this is really what you can really gain out of it. And it's important to me today that I'm able to do this. At my age, I'm able to do this so that I can share this with people outside, and globally, if you can understand that there is this benefit, so more people will do it, and that would really be satisfying my goals as someone that wants to preserve and promote traditional arts, but also to give back to a community that can benefit from this. So on that note, that gives you the idea of why I do this, and that you should follow. And the thumbs up, sharing it, YouTube, give us this thumbs up. That would be the biggest gift to me. And at the same time, share it with all your friends. This is sort of a way of helping us out, because I have a space here that's 6,000 square feet. Can I support that if students don't come back? That's to be the question answered, because there is that uncertainty. And if people come back, that's great. But at the same time, moving forward, I think streaming and the brick and mortar is going to have to go together, because the teaching.
Just want to let you know, Marguerite on Facebook, Susan Feline, and Evan on YouTube all wish you happy birthday.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So anyways, yeah, it's a big day, but at the same time, because of the social distance, we're not really doing any kind of celebration. But celebrating, that is, something that's nice, but at the same time, what I do here is really not so much about me, it's so much for you. So on that note, we're going to move into the 108 movement form, and uh, we'll see what happens. Okay, ready? So we have about 15 minutes. So let's go through the long form first so we can get that out of the system, and then we'll kind of work through some of the obstacles. Okay, ready? Begin. Okay, Susan and Marguerite, and who else was there? Evan? Yeah. Okay, guys, let's get to work. And you notice that the Tai Chi paradigm and this is actually the same in the opening. Now here, carry tiger to the mountain happens in the front. Cross the forearms, and we go to the corner. Oblique single whip. These are oblique movements. That means they're facing the corners. And here's your fist on the elbow, and repulse the monkey begins and tracks just like we do in the Tai Chi paradigm. Mm-hmm. 3 times. Carry tiger to the mountain again. Slightly different format, but the thing is, it's essentially the same with the hands. Step up and raise the hand, bend from the waist, stork flaps wings, and down. So I'm going to step back a little. This isn't really in the form. When we turn, brush knee and push. Sit back, insert the needle. And we extend down, step forward, fan to the back. Stroke down, parry and punch. Step backwards, retreat, divert, lock and punch. Step up, grasp the sparrow's tail. Single whip. Okay, hold the ball. And we do our first set of cloud hands, slightly even more complicated as far as transition than what we do in the paradigm because we have an additional shift of weight and a slightly different approach to how we break the 2 or 3 movements into 3 segments. Now we're here. We begin our kicks. High pat the horse. Remember, this is high pat the horse. First instep kick. Second instep kick. Third heel kick. This goes up, you push with the heel, then we come back down, and we're going to do brush knee, right and left sides. Step up, go forward. Planting punch. This is like a back fist or hammer fist off the back leg. And we step up, and we're going to do beat the tiger. Okay, we go into the stance, go to the front corner, go to the back corner, form your fists, lower the hoop, cross the forearms, level the elbows, heel kick right, pick your foot up and step out. Here. 1, 2, 3. This is potting leg, turn, fold, stroke down, parry and punch. Step up, form the fist. Divert, block, and punch. Cross the arms, leopard and tiger, springs to mountain. Carry tiger to the mountain. So you see there's a lot of repeat, just how it's formatted and sequenced varies a little bit. And here's the obliques again. So it means we're going to the corners. Then we have a right side grasp the sparrow's tail. And we go back to the front, even though it's an oblique, because we actually in this form has a slightly different transition that takes us to the right side diagonal flying and then to pot the horse's mane. And we do 2 of these on the right, and then we left, and then 2 more. So a total of 5 pot the horse's mane. And here's the third one. Now we got 2 more. Stroke down. Here's your first one, and then your second one. Crossover. Jade Lady work shuttle. In the Tai Chi Paradigm, we do 2. Here we do 4. So it's just more of the same. Footwork slightly different here. We have the crossover and pot the horse's mane. And then we sit back and turn and spin. And we do the grasp the sparrow's tail and Jade Lady work shuttle on this corner. Grasp the sparrow's tail always takes us back to single whip. And depending on where you are in the form, we have hold the ball, second set of cloud hands, and next we have downward posture. Turn, snake sticks out tongue, invert the hand, turn the hands down, stroke down, pull down, lift your knee, go to golden cockrow, kick and balance. Here, reverse, repulse the monkey, second set, and it's a series of 3. Here we are, carry tiger to the mountain again with this step and go down, open, diagonal flying, step up and raise the hand. Bend from the waist, stork flaps wings. Turn. Repeating this sequence again. Insert the needle. Fan to the back. Turn. Stroke down. Parry and punch. Now we're stepping forward. This is like in the paradigm. We step up. 1, 2, 3. Step up. Grasp the sparrow's tail. Hook your wrists and back to single whip. Now we're going to do a set of cloud hands again. This is your third set of cloud hands. So you'll notice if you learn the long form, there's a series of movements that follow each set of cloud hands that will give you a good guideline of where you will be in the form. Okay. Now we have this series of movements. Palm strikes face, and high pat the horse, these kind of go together. This is called the single lotus kick. And we do the brush knee, left side push. And we go to the right side with a twist step. And this is called punch down the crotch and grasp the sparrow's tail. Hook your wrists. No more cloud hands. We're now going to do a second downward posture. And we repeat what we did earlier. Down. And then we go up to a cross hand position. But instead of golden cockerel, we're going to go to 7-star. Retreat. Ride the tiger. Palm strikes face. Okay. Change the hands. Lift the knee, swing it around. So this is double lotus because 2 hands are working. Draw bow to shoot tiger. Palm strikes face. High pat the horse. Palm strikes face, high pat the horse. Grasp the sparrow's tail. Oh, I actually skipped the movement. So we're here. So we draw the bow. Okay. Step up. Step up and grasp the sparrow's tail. And I don't know how I ended up over here. Okay. Okay. You ready? Hold ball. I guess it's closing the phone. It's senility. So I talked myself through that one. Okay. Okay, Eben, you caught me. All right. So anyways, deep breathing. So one thing I didn't mention earlier as to one of the big benefits of doing Tai Chi, and that is, movement is key. Movement is essential to life. So when we do all these movements and manipulate our skeletal structure, it has to do with improving your circulation. Now, improved circulation and increasing range of motion, it works your musculature, it works the tendons, the ligaments, the connective tissue, because if you don't move, circulation is impeded, and fluids seek a path of least resistance. So if you don't move, obviously you don't get good circulation. So the reason why we have to have good circulation and energy in the movement is because we have to manipulate our skeleton to do that. And then the nutrients that you take in from food, obviously, really has a lot to do with how healthy your body will be. So if you take in bad nutrients, it's going to affect your body. So you should eat right, but don't overeat. That's really one of the biggest issues that we have in our modern society, is that we tend to eat too much because you think that's a value to being successful. But the thing is, really eat the right amount. Your body will actually balance out how much nutrition it would really need if you're exercising, because your metabolism starts to balance out and it really sorts out a lot of that. So the thing is, movement, circulation and nutrients are the key things to trying to sustain, a healthy lifestyle. And, doing this would be something that you eventually would gravitate toward, and that's sort of your go-to exercise. And on that note, I think we got about 5 minutes. I think I wanted to go through this movement. Now, anyone that does wushu or northern style knows that this is actually a pretty standard move. So this is actually the hand movements for ride the tiger. So when the hand crosses over and you scoop like this and then the hand comes up to here, that's what's happening. Because when you're in a cross hand position and we turn and we hook the wrist and we come to here, your palm strike face and you turn, you have your double lotus kick here, your draw bow to shoot tiger, you have your palm strikes face, and then you turn with the parry and punch. And you go up, change your hands, and you step up again to close the form. So that's where the cross hand movement and the ride the tiger movement come into play. See? So if I cross this way and I turn, you can see how the hand is coming to here. Okay? So your hand comes down, this comes around, hook, and then you look to that corner. Okay? So if I was crossing here and I retreat, just kind of hold the hands and allow you to get to the opposite side before making any moves. That way it just makes it a little easier to spatially get into the right position. Because we're really dealing with space. In a Tai Chi paradigm, you look at the letters, it's an acronym for a bunch of concepts, and the P stands for proprioception. Okay, so we work through that. We work through assimilation. We work with gravity. We work with recognition. We work with all the little ideas that we have in Tai Chi are built into the acronym. So if you go on our website, you would probably see, the logo, and it has the different terms: assimilation, repetition. All of these ideas are built into a concept. So doing things over and over again is one way we learn. So anyone that just watched this long form that never studied before, they said, how do you remember all of those movements? And how do you recall all of those movements? Actually, because, with simple things we can realize it, because everything goes into a muscle memory and it becomes part of your proprioceptive reflexes, and it becomes something that becomes innate, like picking up a cup to drink or putting a fork in your mouth, or all of these things are part of this learning process that we do that we take for granted over time. Walking is something we take for granted, but if you have like Parkinson's, they end up having some trouble with walking. And why? Because all of this really is tied together, that we don't understand how to learn how to move. So if I break it down into this really basic format, you'll be able to learn not only to walk and talk, you'll be able to chew gum as well. All right. On that note, I'll see you. Give us a thumbs up.